get knocked down, but you gotta get up. Keep going.
Okay, everybody. Today, I want to talk to you about why it's time to leave the 9-to-5 matrix. If you're in my world, you know exactly what I mean when I say the matrix. We're going to talk about some different traditional business models and why it's time to get out of them. So there are many ways of working. You guys know that. So I have worked in almost all of them. I worked for large corporations. I worked for mom and pop stores. I've had network marketing businesses. I've had affiliate partners. I've had sponsors. I've worked for the big banks. I've had my own brick and mortar yoga and fitness studio. And I've seen many, many models of how to work and different ways to become an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is by far my favorite way of working. My brick and mortar yoga and fitness studio was definitely my favorite entrepreneurial venture to date. Of course, until aside from what I'm doing now, prior to what I've done now, this yoga and fitness studio was the best, guys. It was called Movement, MVMNT, and it was kind of my dream job. It really satisfied a lot of needs for me. It was the only yoga and fitness studio in my community. I grew this place to be a really spectacular and fun place to be. I had a really rad staff. The community was super supportive. We had a ton of fun there. We did special events, brought in all kinds of cool speakers. We did events where we paired up with the local brewery. So we had like women's healing events. I hosted yoga teacher trainings in there. We had social events. We did craft fairs. We really did everything in this space. It was a fun place to be. It was healthy for the community. I worked with teens there. We did outreach in First Nation communities. It kind of felt like everything to me at the time. The pros of owning my brick and mortar business were, it felt like my life's calling. I was super passionate about yoga. I ran these yoga teacher trainings where we taught about Dharma. How do we help other people find the work that they're really passionate about? How do we become of service to the community? I felt like I was really contributing, you know? I felt like I was helping make good human beings. I felt like I was helping our local community. I was helping kids. I was helping families. It helped me really get connected to my local community, meeting with City Hall, getting involved with other small businesses. It really gave me a sense of belonging with the people that came in the studio, with my staff, with my greater community, with other studio owners across Canada. I started speaking on stages at different yoga festivals. It really did a lot for me. It brought me a lot of joy. It really helped me feel connected, and it made me feel absolutely like I was being of contribution to my little local community and the bigger world. The cons of owning my brick and mortar business were working 50-hour work weeks, especially in the beginning, guys. Like this model of business, it doesn't really make you rich. I will say that. And my story at the time was it didn't matter because I was just helping so many people. I definitely grew this place to the point where I was ready to franchise. I made it as successful and profitable as I possibly could, especially living in a small community. But I was doing everything myself for a really long time. There were massive bills. The overhead in running a place like this was gargantuan. I could only really serve my local community, and I could only grow so big. I remember in 2019 starting to feel pretty frustrated. It was making pretty good money, but I knew that was it. I knew it could never really get any bigger unless I franchised. And to be honest, I didn't know if that was something that I could do because my energy, my capacity was stretched. It was as stretched as it possibly could be. So like even with the cons, I had managed to grow my business to the point where I was making good money and I was ready to franchise. But guys, I was tired AF, and stretching my capacity wasn't something that I was sure I was ready for. I'm also a mom. I got 2 little girls at home. The thought of running other studios on top of this one, it seemed like a lot. Then 2020 happened. If you're here, you're already awake to the reality of our situation in 2024. 2020 opened my eyes to the reality that having a brick and mortar business wasn't my pathway to freedom. I was vulnerable. I live in Ontario and my business was closed on and off for about 18 months. My bank account drained in no time at all. Everything that I'd worked so hard for disappeared almost overnight. Because you're closed, but you still got to pay your bills. I wasn't able to pay my staff. I was begging them just to volunteer their time, just to hold on a little longer, like just 2 more weeks, just 2 weeks, right? Then this will all be over. Let's try and keep this place alive. I chose to step away. After about 18 months of this, I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't have to close. I chose to close. My lease was up. And to be honest, guys, it was a no-brainer to walk away. And I was friends with many different yoga studio owners across North America, both the US and Canada. And most of them closed. And even the ones that were open, that decided to remain open, like we used to live in Whistler, BC. There were about 7 different yoga studios. 6 of them closed. The one that remained open, from what I heard, is pretty quiet. Because that's something that I saw, right, with this business model is a lot of people got really complacent during COVID. A lot of people figured out that they could just do yoga at home, or they stopped doing it altogether. A lot of gyms recovered because I think working out is such a slog that a lot of people did make their way back to the gyms eventually, but so many places closed. So choosing to step away from this business model in 2020 was really smart. It was really smart. And then I had to make a plan. What did I want to do now? I thought, do I just give up? Am I just a homemaker now? Do I just stay at home with my kids? Do I just work for my husband's construction company? I couldn't do that. I have a really big entrepreneurial spirit. I just couldn't. So I had to start over. And I know a lot of you are thinking about this right now, starting from scratch. And the reality of starting from scratch is it's hard. It is hard. It's really hard being awake and believing that everything's going to be fine. It's really hard being awake and seeing everything that's going on in the economy and in this country and believing that you can be successful right now. So starting over is hard at any time in life, but in 2024, with everything that's going on, it's especially hard. And I think it's the only way to thrive right now. When I decided that I was going to start over and I was going to rebuild myself again online, I had to make a choice. I didn't feel brave, guys. I didn't feel brave. I didn't feel confident. I wasn't filled with endless possibility and hope, sunshine and rainbows, unicorn stuff. That's not how I felt. I just had to choose. I had to choose that nothing could stop me. I had to choose that I could be successful even in this wild climate. I had to choose to believe that everything was still available to me now. So the reality of starting over is you can do this, but you have to believe that nothing can stop you. You're going to have to do things scared. You're going to have to do things before you feel confident. I did not feel confident at that time. And you have to trust yourself. So what it takes to build a business in 2024, what it takes to start over is a willingness to do hard and uncomfortable things, right? Willingness is the number one thing that you need right now. You have to know that you're going to be scared. You're going to have to do this scared anyways. Your confidence is on the other side of you doing it scared. So this is going to take a lot of willingness. You're going to have to do uncomfortable things like starting something brand new, figuring out tech, putting your face out there on the internet, putting workshops out there, right? That maybe one person comes to at first. Starting an email list with your mom being the very first person on that list, doing an Instagram live, starting a podcast, all of these things making you feel deeply uncomfortable. I want to normalize that. I want to make that so normal. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. It's also going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, but it's also going to be scary and uncomfortable. It takes consistency and discipline. There's a lot of people that think that they're running businesses and they're really just playing games. They're running an Instagram account, they're posting pretty pictures, but they're not running a business. I want to teach you how to run a business. So you need to be consistent and you need to be disciplined, spending your time on the right things. It takes personal investment of your time, of your energy, and your money. You got to put your money where your mouth is. You have to believe and trust in yourself. And if you don't, you got to do some mindset work, my friends. And we're going to do that here inside the Sovereign CEO container. You have to do mindset work right now. It's non-negotiable. Your business is 20% strategy, 80% energy. You got to get your mind in the game. That is also going to take consistency and discipline. What it doesn't take is a ton of money to get started, right? You don't need to have fancy equipment. You don't have to hire a one-on-one coach. It doesn't take a bunch of money to get started. You don't have to have all the answers, right? You're going to have to just trust yourself and do this thing and kind of figure it out as you go. You don't have to be good at tech. Guys, tech has never been easier. Let me say that first, but you can figure it out. Okay? Don't let the fear of tech stop you from making your way into the digital space. You don't need to have a great big team. You don't have to feel confident, and you certainly don't have to be fearless. This will be an uphill climb, but the results are going to be worth it. It didn't take that long for me to build myself up again. It took consistency and hard work, but I have built this again in a relatively short period of time. And now this business that I have now, it's easier. It's more aligned than the yoga studio. It's safe from the threat of lockdowns forever. My business isn't limited by time or space. I have a global audience. I have 10 times the amount of money, 10 times the amount of impact, and an infinite amount of freedom. Here's why you need to break out of the matrix right now. So number one, you're going to go through this list here with me. Lockdowns can happen again. I'm not saying they will happen. I'm saying they can. And that can drain your bank account in no time at all. Mandates, right? Lockdowns, mandates, any of these tyrannical rules, I think they're going to try it again. I hope they don't, but I think they're going to. Number 2, economic uncertainty. Things are getting more expensive while the government is making our money less and less valuable every single day. You know, you got nurses that can't afford homes in Canada. That's ridiculous. You buy 5 things at the grocery store, it's $100. This is a very real, practical problem that we have here in Canada, that we have everywhere. It's time to get right with money because everybody needs to make more of it right now. Number 3 is lifestyle freedom. So when I closed my brick and mortar studio, we moved to our recreational property. We moved to our cabin that's out on an island on a rural property on beautiful Lake of the Woods. I work from home. I make my own hours. Sometimes we go to Mexico. I work there. Sometimes I work on, we go on ski trips. We go to El Salvador. And my work just comes with me. So I make my own hours. I decide how I'm going to work, who I'm going to work with. That's kind of the best part. And I really just get to design this thing exactly as I want. Okay, number 5, the new technological advancements, new tech, is easier than ever. A lot of people like to complain about the internet, complain about social media, and I'm like, why? You can run a business from your phone. It's free marketing. Like, gone are the days where you had to go door to door knocking on doors to sell people things. You have these amazing tools in your back pocket and you can market yourself for free. Are you kidding me? Like, anyone that's complaining about tech or social media for business, you need to give your head a shake because it's easier than ever. Business is easier than ever. Anyone can start a business because of the tech advancements. Number 6, cost efficiency. I have no overhead now, guys. I have a small team. I have 2 amazing women that work with me, Jenny and Meeks. And aside from that, I don't really have any costs. There's like a couple apps that we use. We use Kajabi. Like, Kajabi is probably my biggest tech expense. It's like $2,000 a year compared to the yoga studio, which was, I won't even tell you how much that place ran, cost to run it, a lot, right? A lot. Paying a huge staff, paying bills, electricity, I don't have any of that now. None. Number 7, it satisfies the entrepreneurial spirit. Now, I have this. Not everybody has this, so this might not resonate with all y'all, but I love bringing things to life. This is fun for me, and I love helping other people do the same. I know a lot of people do have this spirit. I know a lot of people do have this deep inner creativity, this longing, this desire that's been placed on their heart, and they want to bring things to life. This is how you do that. Number 8, remote work dreams. You know those people on Instagram, those Instagram influencers working on the beach? That could be you. That could be you. Like, again, you get to design this. So you don't ever have to go into an office again. Imagine that. Imagine getting to choose where you live. If you don't want to live in Canada anymore, you don't have to when you have a digital business, right? Working wherever you want. Number 9, diverse income streams. Maybe you like your job. Maybe you like your 9 to 5 still, right? And you want to keep it. Well, having a digital business is something that you can add on. You can add on a brand new business. You could add on a network marketing business. You could add on an affiliate partner. There's so many ways to diversify your income in the digital space. You could build an online course. There's so many ways to bring in more money. So if you like your 9 to 5, keep it. Keep it. And you could do this on the side. You could do it in your evenings, on the weekend. Number 10, This is kind of my favorite, personal development, right? The amount of personal development work I have done would make your head spin. Now, guys, I was already doing this for the last 10 years, and I still do it now, but you're going to have to work with amazing coaches. You're going to have to learn how to manage your energy. You're going to read high-level material. You're going to put yourself into masterminds. You're going to listen to podcasts about people in your industry and people achieving amazing things. Like, personal development is a non-negotiable for entrepreneurship. And it's such a great side effect. Like, this is not just you growing a digital business. You're about to grow as a human being. You're going to have to practice things like self-leadership. If you have a team, you're going to have to learn how to lead them. You're going to have to learn how to get right with money and manage money really well, manage people really well, have intelligent conversations, be brave and put your voice out there, create something from scratch, learn organizational skills. Like, the list of things, list of areas of your life that you're going to grow in are infinite. You're going to also have to learn how to take better care of your body and your energy if you're going to do this thing, because it's a lot of hard work. So it's literally everything: mind, body, money, business, leadership. You're going to be a brand new person after this. Number 11, financial independence. Again, I will stress, my income was capped at my studio. I grew it as big as I possibly could. I could not make it any busier. It wasn't going to grow any bigger. My limit now, guys, in this business, there is no limit. There is no limit. This is an 8-figure business now. This is a 9-figure business. My other one was capped. It grew as big as it possibly could. Number 12, making an impact and feeling like you're being a contribution. When you start this thing, and you're going to hear me circle back to this all the time, I want to make sure that you are making something not just because it makes you money. You're creating something that solves a problem. You're creating something that you actually love. You're creating something that is putting your unique God-given talents to work. That is what makes a powerful business. Something that feels good for you and them. 14, adaptability and innovation. Okay, so adaptability. Let's say things go sideways in 2024. It is way easier for me to pivot, to change, to grow my team, to shrink my team, to change my platforms, right? There are a million different directions that I can go right now, and I can pivot on a dime right now. Trying to change your physical brick and mortar business is a huge endeavor, right? Trying to change a location, trying to change staff. There's so many things, even like branding. You got like an actual physical sign. If I need to adapt and change in the digital space, I can do it on a dime. And I also get to create my own way. I don't have to follow any city hall rules. I get to innovate every single step of the way. If it doesn't exist, if what I want doesn't exist, I can make it. I can create it from scratch. Let's say you need an app that doesn't exist yet. You can make that. You can hire an app developer and make what you need. This space, guys, is so much fun. Always growing, always evolving, always changing. And last but not least, personal mastery. Personal mastery. You get to spend not just the next month, the next year figuring this out. This is your road to personal mastery. So to get really, really good at something, to become really successful, in order for this thing to make money, you're going to have to go all in. What does going all in look like? It means mastering your craft. It means mastering your ability to articulate what you do. It means being able to refine your brand and your message. It means refining your services, the way that you teach, the way that you create products, whatever the thing is. You're going to have to get better and better and better at this. And this is what you're going to work on over a lifetime. So your skills, mastering your skill set, is where you're going to become masterful. You're going to become masterful at sales, masterful at building a business, at leading a team, at communicating with your clients. And that also includes like your personal development work too, right? You're going to get masterful at your routine and managing your energy, at balancing your work, your family, and this thing called life. All of this, guys, it's not about self-preservation. I don't want you to do this thing because you're scared about the world. I think it's good to be aware of what's going on in the world. I always use it as a touch point. But this isn't about preservation. This is about expansion. This is about personal mastery. This is the ultimate way to live life, fully expressed and living on purpose. Creating your career in a way that aligns with your mission, with your vision, with your lifestyle, with what you actually want in life. And you get to spend a lifetime mastering that, refining that. This is how you expand. So what's your next steps? If you are ready to break out of this 9-to-5 matrix, if everything I'm saying to you right now resonates, it lands, the first thing that I want you to look at and ask yourself is, what's your why for breaking out of the 9-to-5 matrix? I've listed a lot of reasons here why it's a good decision right now, but what's your why? Which one of those things really landed for you? Which one really resonated with you? What's your why? Are you trying to create financial stability for your family so you feel safe no matter what the world around you is doing? Do you want to leave the country and work somewhere else and be able to homeschool your kids and be able to be there with them at the end of the day? Do you want to feel like you're contributing financially to your family? Do you want to make more of an impact? Is there a problem out there that you really want to solve? Number 2, what's possible for you on the other side of this journey? So I don't want you to look at your feet. I don't want you to look at your feet and just see the step right in front of you. What do you see for yourself a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's possible for you on the other side of this journey? We want to get crystal clear with what you actually want. And it can't be vague, guys. Vague leads you nowhere. Vague is directionless. How much money do you want to be making? How do you want to be spending your day? How much money do you want to be able to donate to your community? What kind of human being are you working with? When you are crystal clear on what you want, guys, clarity creates direction. Direction creates speed. Vague goals get you nowhere. It just has you spinning. So really, really sit with this vision. Like, don't skip this part. Exactly what do you want? What does that look like? Who's there in your future? What does that look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? Number 3, what do you need to believe about yourself in order to stay in the game long enough to bring this to life? What do you need to believe about yourself? So I needed to believe, even when I was scared and not feeling confident, I just had to believe that I could do this. And I had to hold on to that belief while I wasn't very good at things, right? I have hosted workshops that no one came to. Do you know what I did? I would run them anyways. And I would use that as an opportunity to refine my skill of hosting workshops, and then I would do it again. And then I would do it again. No one was on my email list in the beginning, right? You're going to have to go through some of that. You're going to have to make content that gets crickets. You're going to have to release a product that no one buys. And then you're going to have to keep going. So what do you need to believe about yourself in order to stay in the game? Because that's a secret. You just got to stay in the game. You got to be clear about what you want. You got to stay in the game and you got to keep going. If you believe that you're not worthy, that you're not capable, that no one's going to buy from you, then you're right. This work matters, guys. Your beliefs create emotion. Your emotion creates action. So what do you need to believe about yourself in order to actually do this thing? And last but not least, this is pretty tricky for this community right now. What do you need to believe about the world in order to commit to a new business right now? If you guys are filling your day with scary news and doomsday scroll holes and scary documentaries and you think that we're screwed, you're right. Okay? Just like the beliefs about yourself. If you think that the world is just going to no man's land, right? Where do you think that belief is going to take you? So what do you need to believe about the world in order to commit to a new business right now? Because here's the thing, guys. I can think of nothing worse than all these things that you're worried about never coming true and you wasted this entire time. Or let's say things are going to a really bad, precarious place. Do you want to be in a stronger, more financially secure and rooted place when that happens? Or do you want to be right where you are? So whether you're right about the state of the world in the future or completely wrong, it serves you today to get yourself to better standing, to get yourself to higher ground, to get yourself more money, to do something with your everyday that actually makes you happy right now. This work is our way through. It's how we thrive. It's how we spark joy. It's how we become helpful for the world. And really practically, everybody needs some more money right now, guys. This is the way. So that's all I wanted to talk with you about today. I think it's really, really important that we leave the 9 to 5. Whether this is an additional stream of income for you and you keep your 9 to 5, or you leave and you start from ground zero like I did. Guys, you do not have to burn your business to the ground like I did and go all in right away. You can stay in the work that you have right now, and you can work on this on the side. And eventually, there might be a time when you got to burn your boats and you got to go all in. And only you will know when it's time for that. But what I do know to be true is I think we all need to be taking action on this right now. Whether it's a side project or you're going all in, now is the time to start building, because it is going to take you some time. No matter what you're building, all things take time. And there's no better time to start building than right now.
Been underground, now I aim for the sky. Don't quit now, you can last longer. All these wounds only making you stronger.